Hi, I'm Michael Houlihan. I'm the founder of Barefoot Wine, which is now the largest wine brand in the world. And since selling it to E&J Gallo, I help businesses achieve the same kind of success that we achieved. When I started out, I was working for one of the largest bureaucracies in the world, which is the United States federal government. And I'm waiting for my boss to die so I could get a promotion. And so finally one day I quit, and my Irish grandmother said, "But Michael, you're losing all that security." And I thought, well, I'd be losing my life if I stayed there. So here I was, on the street. I didn't have a job. It wasn't long, though, before people started coming to me and say, "Hey, you used to work for the Fed. I'm trying to get something done through the federal government. And it's like pushing mud uphill with a chopstick in the rain. Can you help me?" And so I said, "Sure, I know how to work with those bureaucrats." So I started to help client after client. Finally, I got to a point where I realized that I could live anywhere. I didn't have to live in San Francisco. I could actually move to the wine country, which is where I always vacationed and loved it anyway. You got the river, you got the beaches, you got the redwood trees, you got the wonderful wineries and the vineyards and everything else. So I moved up there and I started taking in clients. Well, one of the clients that I took in hadn't been paid for his grapes for like 3 years in a row. And I took a look at him and I said, "Oh my God, I'll go talk to the winery that owes you the money for your grapes and see what I can work out." So I went there to negotiate for the guy, and all I could get was bulk wine and bottling services, no money. So that's how Barefoot Wine gets started. It gets started on a debt. It isn't even mine. It's someone else's debt. And wind up trading the debt for goods and services. But then, of course, got to come up with a marketing program, come up with a name, come up with a label, penetrate the market, all that stuff. So here I am, kind of a business consultant, looking at the wine industry with non-wine industry eyes. So I'm looking at it in terms of like common sense and good business. And of course, there's a lot of things going on in the industry that are just like random, right? And a lot of government control. So it was an uphill fight. It took us 20 years to build the Barefoot brand. And in the process, we learned a lot. And that's what we teach now. We teach the principles that we learn that are really applicable to any business. The biggest mistake that I made going into business is the same mistake that almost all entrepreneurs make. We were selling our wine in Hawaii and we thought, well, Hawaii is perfect. Everybody's running around barefoot. You're on the beach in Hawaii. You see nothing but bare feet. Half the bars are called Barefoot. So we thought, this is perfect. So we start selling our wine in Hawaii and oh my God, everybody takes it. So I go back to San Francisco and, a month goes by, there's no reorder. Another month goes by, no reorder. Finally, my partner Bonnie says, "You better go back and check that out." So I go back and check it out. Guess what? It was sold out everywhere. And so I said, "Hey, what if it happened to Barefoot?" And they said, "Oh, well, it's sold out." I said, "Sold out?" I said, "Why didn't you reorder it?" "Oh, well, your distributor was selling something else and they were getting a spiff on that." So they were glad that you were sold out because they only get a certain amount of space in the store. So they put that product in your space. I said, fantastic. It's like lesson, right? So I went back to Hawaii. We sold it again. There were still no reorders. Went back, sold it again, no reorders. In other words, the only time it would sell in Hawaii was when I personally sold it. So finally my partner says, "You're not going to Hawaii anymore. Forget the tan mic, put on your shoes, all I got out of it was the puka shells." But we stayed out of Hawaii for 2 years because we couldn't afford to put a representative in the market because we never dreamed about the cost of sales. So the biggest mistake that people make, they know the cost of goods, but they don't know the cost of sales.